from classics to children's books. You never know what she's gonna cook when Gretchen makes Novel Moms.
Okay, so this week on Novel Moms is a very special Halloween episode. I love Halloween. My husband and I love Halloween. This is the pumpkin. On our Halloween, we're going to do something kind of spooky and scary to someone who likes to prepare things and make lists, and that is to surprise me with ingredients. And if you remember a few episodes back, I did like a Chopped, if you've seen that show on the Food Network, a Chopped style episode where my husband goes out and he buys me 3 or 4 items that I don't know what they are, and then I have to make a dish, and it scares me. But I'm excited because it's Halloween, and how can you be upset on Halloween? I have my magic cooler, my magic basket, whatever you call it, and now I'm going to look and see what he has done to me. Ready? You ready? You ready? Oh, wow. Apples, that we can work with. Pumpkin, we enjoy pumpkin. Hershey's miniatures. And snowballs. Oh, goodness. And he's made it clear, he didn't tell me what he bought me, but he did tell me that he promises next time it'll be less processed stuff because you know how I feel about that. But it's Halloween and you know, you gotta have treats. Alright, so the deal is I get 5 minutes to think about this and then I get to start cooking. So I need 5 minutes. I'll be right back. Okay, this was no easy feat. I'll tell you right now, the one that tripped me up was the snowballs. But I am going to make a dessert because that makes the most sense. None of these ingredients really lend themselves. I mean, they could be, but all together, I couldn't come up with a savory dish. So if you could come up with one, you put that below. I'm going to make a pumpkin, apple, chocolate, marshmallow tart. OMG. Here's what we need to start with. Apples. So I'm just going to take my apples and I'm going to cut them up and get those cooking on the stove top so that they start cooking down and caramelizing and getting yummy. I don't tend to take the skin off just because I think it adds a little tartness and some fiber, and I think it's good for you. So I'm going to get all these apples chopped up. Apples are great because they add, like I said, a little natural sweetness, tartness, all that good flavor, so you don't have to use a lot of sugar. We are going to add some sugar and almost make like an apple pie filling. I always think that this is kind of a fun exercise because, you know, it's kind of like when you say I have nothing to wear and you have a closet full of clothes. It's kind of the same thing, like, oh, you know, I really need to bring a dessert to this function. I can't think of anything. Sometimes you just need to look through your pantry and get a little creative. You don't have to have a lot of money or have to go grocery shopping all the time. Just kind of figure it out. There are some websites, even like Food Network, I know that you can just put in ingredients in the search bar and it'll come up with any recipes that include those specific ingredients. So, there's no excuse. Make it happen. And I'm going to start some butter melting in the pan. And I'm going to start adding in those apples to the butter. See if I can get fancy. Alright, so get them all coated in that butter. And I want these to start cooking down. I'm going to add a little bit of cinnamon to our apples. A little bit of nutmeg. Get that moving around. Now, I actually like to cut up apples. And really, you can add other fruits like pears. You can add plums, like cut up, and put those in the crock pot with just a little bit of water, like distilled water or filtered water. And let those cook in your crock pot all day, and you have homemade applesauce. And if you want them sweeter, you can add like a little agave syrup or regular sugar if that's what you want. I'm just going to add just a little bit of white sugar. just probably 2 or 3 tablespoons of white sugar, just to give it a little bit of sweetness. And what we're going to do for the tarts is make a shell out of gluten-free ingredients. And it's almost going to be like a cookie shell, more so than a typical pastry shell. And all I'm going to use is about a cup of this gluten-free flour. Okay. And I'm going to, danger! Okay. Eye on your apples so they don't burn. Okay. Keep those moving around. I'm also going to use my xanthan gum. Remember that? That was the stuff that is a little plant derivative. Will help solidify gluten-free ingredients and make them stick together like a regular pastry dough. I'm going to put a teaspoon of the xanthan gum. Add that to my flour. And I'm going to add 2 eggs. Crack my eggs. And then I'm going to add probably about ½ a cup of white sugar. Also just added a little bit of vanilla. Also going to take some butter, because that's what's going to help it get crispy and delicious. I like to chop it up into little cubes. It makes it easier to blend in there. Kind of blend it all through, and the butter will help to kind of bring it all together and kind of be like a little bit of a glue with the eggs. So now that we've got everything mixed together, so we've got this lump, I want to be able to push it between my hands and have it not come apart. So see how it's, because we're gonna roll it out, and we want it to not come apart when we roll it out. Okay, so it's almost like a cookie dough. I decided that these apples, if you see them, look how gorgeous, how they're all like brown and caramely, coated in that just deliciousness from the butter, the sugar, the cinnamon, the nutmeg. Next step is we're going to roll out the dough. My father-in-law, thank you, my father-in-law, who does woodworking, he made me this beautiful butcher block, just made me this for my birthday. It's a pastry board. It's got little feet on the bottom so it doesn't slide, and so I can put it on any surface and roll stuff out and not have to scrub down my nice table and get it all messed up. So I definitely like to use wax paper when I'm rolling out dough, just because it makes it so much easier to peel the pieces off when you want to use them. You're just going to roll. I kind of do one direction at a time. Turn my oven on to about 375. Okay, now what I'm going to use is this little tart pan. It's got little tiny tart pan holes. You could use a mini muffin pan. Okay, so I use just a little cookie cutter that I have, and I'm just going to cut out some circles and just start filling them in, and I'll show you how I kind of push them into the tart pan. This is very similar to what we did with ravioli. Just peel it back, and then I'll put it in my little tart pan, and then I don't want to push it too hard because you'll push the bottom right out. Just kind of push it from the edges and fold it in, and then pinch all the edges closed. So put it on top and just push it in from the edges. It'll kind of collapse on itself. You can leave it kind of fluted like that or push it out however you want it to look. Okay, so now if you're going to use the gluten-free flour, we did add sugar, so you could either add a little bit more sugar than what we added, or I like to just put a pinch of sugar on top too. It gives it a little extra sweetness because sometimes the gluten-free flours have a little kind of a weird aftertaste. That's why the vanilla and all that other stuff is really good in there too. Kind of brings up the flavor, makes it be more yummy. Okay, it's just a little bit of sugar in the bottom of our little tart cups. Okay, and I'm going to pop this in the oven until they're golden brown. Okay, so now that our pastry is in the oven, we can concentrate on the rest of our fillings. Now, I've got this pumpkin. We'll deal with that in a minute. I've got my apples are done. Now, I've got what is often called, really, or what else would you call it, is a double boiler. All that is, you don't have to buy a special pot. Just get a pot with a bowl that fits in it, glass bowl preferably, and fill the bottom pot with water. Get that water boiling. I've picked out all of just the regular Hershey's bars. Unwrap all these. What are you doing for Halloween? I feel like you should tell me in the comments what you're doing for Halloween. What are you doing? You gonna have some fun? We typically go all out and decorate, and we get full-size candy bars for the kids, and we have fog machines, and we have strobe lights, and we have zombies, and we have, what else do we have? A graveyard, bats that fly. I just made tombstones. Oh, look, while I'm peeling, look at the tombstones I just made right here. So I've got my chocolate. I'm just gonna chop each bar in half. So my water's boiling, and I'm just gonna put this chocolate into my bowl, but you gotta keep it moving, because if it solidifies or it'll crystallize, and you've lost it. Keep an eye on our chocolate and let that melt down. Okay, our chocolate is almost, oh no, it's pretty much completely melted. Now we're gonna go beyond, we're gonna go above and beyond. I'm gonna take our little cakes here, which have that yummy, this is how we're gonna make it gluten-free, people. Look at that, I can peel. That should frighten you. I'm gonna peel the coconut marshmallow part right off of that, and I'm just gonna chop it, because it's marshmallow, right? I'm just going to add that into our chocolate. Melt in there. Give us an interesting little topping for our... Alright. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of half and half, or you can use cream. Pour a little bit in there. Kind of help it be a little bit more liquidy. That's better. It's going to be like hot chocolate. So we got coconut, chocolate, and marshmallow. All we got left is the pumpkin. I'm going to go open my pumpkin. Okay, so my pumpkin is all ready to go, and just took a little bit. It's just pure pumpkin. I'm going to add some sugar. Let's give it an, add some nutmeg. Kind of the same flavors we did with the apples, to our traditional pumpkin pie kind of spice. And you know, every morning, because I love pumpkin coffee, like pumpkin spice coffee, like the lattes from Starbucks, and I buy pumpkin spice coffee from Trader Joe's, and I love it. I actually have a coconut creamer that I treat myself to once in a while, and I think it goes really well with pumpkin, which is what gave me this idea. I'm also going to add just a little bit of my vanilla extract. Alright, we need to take out our pastry shells. Truly, this is something that you could just do mini pumpkin pies. You could do any kind of mini pie. You could make just the apple pie, put these on. This is such a great thing to make as a dessert or as like an hors d'oeuvre for a party. They're fantastic. Okay, so now I've got my cute little shells. They're a little brown around the edges. And now I just need to build them. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to use a little bit of pumpkin on the bottom. So I'm just going to smooth that out so we have a nice little bed for the rest of our filling. Then I'm going to top that with some of those caramelized apples, which I think look positively amazing. So before we can eat these, we need to get them finished with our last component. Now that they're all filled and they are cool enough to put on our little cookie sheet, or sorry, our little cooling rack, I'm going to put a piece of wax paper down because we're going to need it to protect our table from the last component. I've got this chocolate marshmallow mixture, which has gotten thicker because of those marshmallows. Kind of solidified, and it's got coconut in there. I'm just going to get a nice spoonful. Just see if I can drizzle right over the top. Okay, now is the moment of truth. The scary. There she walks into the house and she was scared of the ghost. Take one of my little shells here, and it's got all those yummy things. We've got a layer of pumpkin, a layer of those cooked caramelized apples and sugar and butter. We've got a beautiful coconut marshmallow snowball chocolate drizzle. Ready? Truly, the only thing I would add to this was maybe like a little bit of, we could even add like a little dollop of vanilla ice cream or vanilla or Cool Whip or something, or some whipped cream to kind of just make it kind of creamier and brighter and all that deliciousness, but those are good. I may have come up with a new creation. I think I did. So there you have it. We've got snowball pumpkin apple chocolate tarts. Don't be scared. Try them. Try new things. Enjoy cooking. Make beautiful food. Have a beautiful week. I will see you next week on Noms. Happy Halloween!
From classics to children's books, you never know what she's gonna cook when Gretchen makes